Hello and welcome to Jan Sewing Solutions. Now we're going to do a second video. This video is about sewing machines. I'm on my phone, so I haven't got my proper camera. I will do an in-depth video as and when I get around to it. Now I bought several of these machines when I started the sewing classes, and I'll be very honest, I've not really used them a lot. I use an industrial sewing machine because I feel very comfortable on an industrial sewing machine. Now this one is a Janome. I bought all my machines were Janome, and this one is the Sewist 525S. Okay, it's a reasonable priced and an average machine. One of the complicated ones that I bought was this one. And this is a 6260 model, and this one is an embroidery one. As you can see there's all the patterns. This one I bought for myself, and this has quite a few parts with it as well. So hopefully, Naya, take your photo of that please. I will give you a demonstration of that. The other one that's quite a simple one and a fairly cheap one was this one. This is a 2050. Again, it's a Janome. And these work perfectly fine if you're just going to do, not use it quite, the simpler it is, I think the better it is to use. So this is quite a simple Janome, average stitching with just a few patterns, that are listed there. And then there's a few that I've sold. Okay, and then I have got a gem platinum 720. So if you fancy doing a bit of embroidery, this again is an also very small machine. If you're compact, if you're small on space and so on, then perhaps something like this you can tuck it away in a cupboard or whatever. If you're using it very occasionally, then perhaps a gem platinum like this 720. And then the other one, which is also slightly more high-tech, is the 8077, and this again is by Janome. So these are 5 of the machines that I've got left. I'll probably keep hold of these because I hope to continue doing the sewing classes. It's a little bit pointless selling them at such a ridiculously low price when I paid quite a bit. Now, the most expensive out of these machines was the complicated computerized embroidery one. And I think, I can't quite remember what I've paid for these, but that was the most expensive. I know you can get, normally with these Janome machines, there is good service and so on. And there are a lot of... the area, depending on the area that you buy from, there's normally service engineers that cater to look into any problems that you have. One of the things that I would suggest when buying any of these machines is take full advantage in the first year and experiment as much as you can. Don't just buy it and then put it away, which is probably one of the problems that we have, that we tend to buy the stuff but then we don't actually use it. We put it away and then we store it away for so long. I'll be honest, I bought these when I first did the sewing classes back in 2010. So since 2010 I did the classes for the first year, and then they've been sitting idle. So you don't want these machines sitting idle. You want to use them, take advantage of the year's guarantee, and if anything goes wrong in the first year, then obviously you will get it replaced. I'm not too familiar with usage of these machines, so I would not be able to advise you fully, because the machines that I use are these industrial ones. This one is my main one, and I'll be honest, I bought this second-hand probably in 2000, I think it was in 2006 that I bought this in. No, wrong, not 2006, 1996. So I've had this machine for over how many years? 96, almost 20 years I've had this machine for, and it was a second hand. It was a factory machine that somebody had used, and with that I had also bought the overlocker. So this is another industrial overlocker. This is just the small selection of my machines that are left now, because I've sold quite a few off since I didn't have the space. Now the problem with these big machines is, as you can see, they take up a lot of room. I've got 3 left. This one is the edging machine, that one is the overlocker, and that is the industrial sewing machine. And then apart from these, I've got 2 other industrial ones. One is for sewing a specialist fabric like jerseys and stretchy fabrics, and the other one is a double seamer, and those are bought but I've not actually even used. I would recommend, if anybody's got the space, then I would highly recommend buying one of these. This one is like a little bit like computerized, although I've never used the computerized part of it. That just came like that. Generally with these machines, what you have is, as a small description, they're quite noisy. That's the older ones. The new ones have silent motors, so they're not as noisy. Now with this one, what you have on the foot is, to lift the foot, to lift this part, you press on the heel of, and generally that moving of that bar is done by the right leg side. It has like a protruding sort of almost like a lever, and what you do is you press your side of your leg against that lever, and what that does is it lifts the foot, which ordinarily you have to do manually by hand. On normal machines you have to do that by manually. With mine, that is done by the heel of the foot, but majority of industrial sewing machines is done by the right leg pressing against the lever, which lifts the foot up. Okay, so that's my bit of information. Generally, these machines are as good as, obviously these machines are for industrial use. Industrial use meaning heavy quality garment sewing, which nowadays we don't actually sew heavy duty garments. We'll be sewing like average clothing and so on. So that's a little bit of a recap of all the machines. Inshallah, I will give you perhaps once they've been relocated. You may have heard in my last video, I have sold my shop. So I will be moving some of these machines into my new sewing room. I will continue doing the sewing lessons and the sewing classes and the designs and so on, but I will not have the masses and masses of fabrics that I've had over the past years, although I think I will keep enough to keep me going. Anyway, more of that later on. For the moment, I'm going to love you and leave you. I've got to run Inaya home because Inaya was giving you a demonstration of her suit earlier on. I will hope to hear from many of you. Keep me in your du'as, look after yourselves, and I will speak to you again very, very soon.